Record, then we can.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new year. Oh my God, it's even this crazy. I've typed out like 2022 sometimes, and it just still boggles my mind. The last 2 years are like whew, absolute blur. But welcome. Thank you so much for being here. This is a fun little set that we're putting together here. A little different than our traditional format, but we really wanted just to kick off a new year with a bit of a new presentation model, a little bit of a new, deeper topic. You've heard the hashtag, you've seen these beautiful 5 words before, go big to give big. And we are just, I don't know, it fuels our hearts to talk about this type of, this topic, and stoked to share it in a little bit more detail with you folks tonight and over the next few months. We have some exciting things happening that I'll leave you in suspense for now. But thanks again for joining us. We'll pick up the presentation in half a second. Randy, Jay, you guys want to say hi or anything? No. All right.
No. Hi.
Jay loves being put on the spot. Cool. Let me share my screen and let's dig right into it. Brilliant. 2022. Still getting over it. Welcome. Go Big to Give Big series. Here we go. Tonight's agenda. If you're here for the first time, welcome. If this is a recurring thing for you, obviously welcome again. But I'd love to see just in the chat, if this is your first time, 100th time, or somewhere in between, just drop it there in the chat so we can kind of see where everybody's at and reach out to you one way or the other. If this is the first time that you're hearing about Go Big to Give Big, man, I'm so excited for you. This is a massive topic for us and really excited. And then we'll just wrap up with just, maybe we'll do a little bit of like, Q&A towards the end, but we'll just do a quick final send off. So we'll be fairly short and sweet moving forward on our type of meetup structure. And we'd love to see your faces. So back in the good old days, we'd meet in person, there'd be, hundreds of people in the room, and we'd be having a cocktail and cookies and hanging out and networking. And the piece I miss, the most, other than everybody's hugs, is just seeing everybody's faces, the light bulb moments. We're like, oh yeah, and the excitement in the room. So if you can, we encourage you to open up your camera and give us a wave. If you're not already a part of our REINVESTORS community, it's continued to grow. We're at about 1,800 people now. It's been growing for the last number of years. Lots of great conversation taking place there. Lots of great experts in the real estate fields from all across the country. It's primarily kind of focused within British Columbia. But if you have any kind of questions, or if you're looking for a particular type of professional, it's a great place to ask questions, engage with other people, connect with other people, find money partners, find projects, find everything in between. So highly encourage you to jump in there. This is us. This is our first property. Geez, what is that, dude? That's 5 or 6 years ago.
A lot of years ago.
Yeah. So much has happened since then. We've done tons of different events. We're educators like this. We're developers and kind of everything in between. We just live and breathe education around real estate, around finances, development. Obviously, we're active in that space as well, and just get fueled and thrived by it all. You know it. So if you want to, say it with me. We are on a mission to financially educate 1 million people and inspire them to invest in real estate so we can live a more fulfilled life. You got to do it that fast too. This is our mission statement. It's what we absolutely believe in. Followed up by that, a little bit of our accomplishments over the last 5.5, almost 6 years. I think it's May this year will be 6 years of running the meetup. We've got 1,800 people in the community. We've done small events, massive events. We've done large size of deals, whether that be developments or small size of deals, some private lending and kind of everything in between, Airbnbs, flips, burrs, new construction, passive, completely turnkey, everything in between. So if you have some questions, if we don't know the answer, we're going to know the person who has the answer for you, and we'll happy to connect. Jumping into our favorite thing, go big to give big. What is it? We are inspiring others to go bigger with their dreams and goals so they can give bigger with their profits. So we'll get into the nitty gritties here in half a second. But one of the organizations that we hold near and dear to our hearts that we love to to work with, to partner with, to donate to volunteer with is Kids Sport Victoria. If you don't know them, I highly encourage you to go check it out. Just look up Kids Sport Greater Victoria. And what they do is they help families and kids who can't afford to put their kids through sport. They give them grants to put them through a season of sport, whether that be ballet or hockey or anything in between. And we've been proud sponsors and donors to them for a number of years, and can't wait for live events to come back so that we can again kind of give them a fancy Christmas fundraiser game, which was just way too much fun. But I'm going to stop right here, and I'm going to invite my soon-to-be tanned business partner up on stage. Randy Wallin, he's going to take us through the details of Go Big to Give Big and blow some minds with why y'all should be incorporating something along the same structure into either your current business or into your investing portfolio, and just into life. The end of our motto or our mission statement is to live more fulfilled lives. This is a big part of that for, I think, everybody in this room. So everybody, happy hands for the 5 people on video. Give Randy some happy hands. Welcome to the stage for the first time in 2022, dude.
Stoked to be here and do this presentation for you guys. As Steve mentioned, I'm about 12 hours away from getting on a plane and going to Mexico for a week for some sunshine and margaritas. So excited to do this as my send-off project for the week. Kale, good to see you on here, buddy. Crazy that I only see a few people with cameras on compared to the 30-ish people that are on here compared to our normal meetups. So it's cool. We'll roll with it. I'll just say everyone's eating dinner. Also, for the people on Facebook, we're chugging along. We're seeing your comments, Colleen and Mario and a few others. So if you're on the Facebook Live, totally awesome to see you there. This presentation I'm going to throw up for you guys. It's probably about 30 minutes or so. And I originally built it to do it to our mastermind. A lot of you know Steve and I run a mastermind. And I presented to this mastermind I have, and the feedback we got was absolutely incredible. We didn't know how it was going to land, what it was going to be. Giving back is a niche kind of topic that Steve and I have found is our most fulfilling part of our business, but not everybody believes in it or wants it or feels the same way about it. So when we did this presentation, I was expecting a few people like, oh, that was nice. And in our polls, it was one of the highest rated presentations of the weekend compared to a lot of other real estate topics. So we thought, hey, why not bring that into our community and share that exact same knowledge here with our community so everyone can start feeling the same way. And you guys will see as we grow this year, Go Big to Give Big is going to go from just being a little murmur inside of our industry to being one of the leading movements in the next, I'd say, especially 6 months and flowing forward after that. So I'm going to share my screen here. Just confirming, Steve, you can see what is your legacy? Cool. Awesome, guys. So what is your legacy? One of the biggest things that we talk about in this industry is, you know, what do you want to leave behind? What is your legacy? What are some of the things that drive you and motivate you to get out of your job? And for a lot of people, it's, you know, I want to leave wealth for my kids. I want to provide for my family. I want to be able to live that vacation travel lifestyle. And there's a lot of amazing things in there that we focus on for ourselves. And one of the things Steve and I found is that our legacy is really around giving back. A lot of people want to give back, but they find it very hard and challenging with the current incomes they're at or where they are. And Steve and I have really put together a really cool opportunity to share with you guys of just how you can start giving back through your real estate portfolio. And there is no sales pitch. There is no nothing coming. It is literally just us pouring our hearts out, sharing what we do and how we're doing it to start living more fulfilled lives. But first, one of the things I want to talk about is how you're motivated or who motivates you. In this industry with social media, there's so many people out there that can motivate you or teach you or train you, and you can get kind of caught up in the vortex. And so one of the things I've focused really hard on over the past 12 to 24 months is just focusing my attention on a few people that have the lifestyle I want and are doing the things that I want to do. And I want to share them with you guys because I think they're super inspirational. I talk about this all the time with anybody around me. One of the guys here, his name is Jesse Itzler. His whole thing is build your life resume. So his, you know, one of his things is like, I'm never too tired for my kids. If I am, then I need to adjust my schedule. And I love that. I love family. That's very important to me. This guy's all about having experiences. For those of you that haven't heard, Steve and I are hiking up Whistler in September, 8 times to the equivalent height of Mount Everest. So 29,000 feet. It's an event that Jesse Itzler founded. It's called 29029 Everesting. And it's all about just putting your mental barriers behind you and climbing up the height of Everest on a ski mountain. It's going to be in the summer, so it's not going to be snowy. But that's the stuff that he does. He's also the kind of guy that'll just randomly, like, I'm going to go run a marathon next week just because I want it on my life resume. And so he's been huge inspiration for us, and especially for me, around having that good work-life balance is why I love following Jesse, because he hangs out with his kids, but he also is a billionaire and doing incredible stuff. And he dresses like that all the time, just zero care in the world. Second guy, if you've heard any of us talk, or if you heard Steve and I talk at all, Cole Hatter is our man for business goals. His whole thing is make money matter. Many of you know Steve and I were in his mastermind for over 5 years. And this is where we actually changed our business to become for purpose, as we call it, and really got back into giving back. And Cole says a really cool thing that says, don't just build a profit machine to accumulate stuff, build a profit machine to change the world. And that's exactly what Steve and I took and are starting to do. Is we don't want to just make money. We want to go make millions so that we can actually go have a huge impact in this world, not just live the life that we want. And also Cole does live a very similar lifestyle to Jesse Itzler. He travels around, he speaks, he's making $1 million a month right now, and he's doing pretty successful in his life. But he hangs out by his pool in his board shorts and flip-flops. He's doing 75 hard. If any of you are in that, he's doing it for the 3rd time. So he's very big on lifestyle, as well as building awesome, incredible businesses. And the third guy here is Charlie Rocket. On Instagram, it's just @Charlie. And he just was down in Tennessee where they just had the massive tornadoes. And he just raised, I can't even remember what it was, just over $1 million, like $1.3 million from his followers on Instagram and other entrepreneurs, and literally gave it out at like boots on the ground, like finding people standing there in front of their house crying. And he drove up and said, hey, here's $30,000, go rebuild your house. He go find businesses that were completely destroyed and looted and said, hey, here's a check for $50,000. We're going to take care of you and we're going to help you. That's the stuff that inspires me. And I get goosebumps talking about it, because that's the stuff that I want to be able to do. I want to be able to do that kind of stuff where I'm boots on the ground solving problems, not just making a donation to a charity and hoping there's impact there. I actually want to be the impact. So following Charlie is something that inspires me a lot. So those 3 guys are the ones that I follow that have the most impact on my life. So when we talk social media and getting consumed in it and how it can take over your life and not have a huge impact, and can actually be a bad thing for you, I flipped that and made it a good thing for me. I follow a few select people that have the lifestyle goals, the business goals, and the inspirational goals that align 100% with me. And then I just go all in on them. And again, trying to get around them. We've seen Jesse Itzler speak 3 or 4 times. We've been in Cole's mastermind. We've seen Charlie speak a bunch, and we are currently working on how we can partner with them and do different stuff. So it's very cool for us to be able to do that. Money doesn't just change your life. It just exposes who you really are. So who do you want to be? So again, Cole talks a lot about this, but when you're making your money, making more money, it doesn't change your life. It really just shows your true characteristics. Are you greedy? Are you do you have poor leadership? Are you arrogant? Those kind of skills and those kinds of personal developments, they just get exposed as you create more money. So who are you as a core human is who you should aim to be when you have the wealth that we're creating. And that's something that I constantly am checking in on myself as I make more money, am I doing the things that make me true to myself and being who I want to be? So one of the questions is, who do you want to be? And the next thing is, what does for purpose mean? And for those of you that don't know, Cole Hatter has kind of coined this term for purpose, and it's basically using businesses to give back. And I'll go through this in a second, but basically what Steve and I did, we went and had a free meetup. It was free for people to come. We said, wow, if we can go get sponsorship to cover our costs for the meetup, we can charge tickets at the door and then donate the money. So we went and got some sponsorships for our meetup that paid for the meetup. And then we charged people at the door, but we donated 100% of ticket revenue to Kids for Victoria. Our ambition went from, if we could put 20 people in a room, 30 people, that would be kind of cool, to saying, wow, if we can we charge $10 at the door. If we could put 100 people in a room, we could be donating $1,000 on a monthly basis for just doing something we love. So it took no more energy for us. It just took getting creative to be able to make a donation every single month to be able to donate $12,000 a year to kids sport. Very cool concept that we loved doing it. Cole also talks a little bit about, in an easier way to explain it, is if you want to make $1 million a year lifestyle, build a business that does $2 million a year and give $1 million away. So you can still live the luxury life that you want, but you're also still making massive impact in this world. So basically a 2-to-1 ratio, make $2, keep $1, give $1 away, but do it inside your business as a revenue business model. And that's why I believe that entrepreneurs are going to be the ones that are going to change the world. Right now, there's a lot of controversy inside politics and government and how things are being ran and what they're doing. And we as entrepreneurs can go create revenues and communities and different things that people might be excited to be a part of, or go change policies that don't need government, which you'll see later, so that we can actually start making massive impact in this world. Good example, Tom's Shoes. I know there's only a few people on cameras here, but if you've heard of Tom's Shoes before, write in the chat below, or if you own a pair of Tom's Shoes, write in the chat below. Tom's Shoes started with a 1-for-1 model. You buy a pair of shoes, they give a pair of shoes away. They're one of the first people to come out as a for-purpose business or socially responsible, and they're making a massive impact. They saw their sales volumes grow. They saw a lot of stuff grow very quickly because they were giving back. A lot of people love that concept. If I buy a pair of shoes, I'm doing good in the world. We also see a company called 10 Tree. Every time you buy a piece of their clothing, they go plant 10 trees. So again, we saw their brand grow very quickly and very sustainably. Every time you buy a piece of their clothing, they go plant 10 trees. How wicked is that? They built it into their numbers. They started from the beginning, and now they're a very profitable company, but it's just built into their revenue. The last one here is Stella. How many people have drank Stella beer? If you've drank Stella beer, put in the comments. I know a lot of you have. When they have their special limited stuff, you can buy these chalices, and inside there, when you buy one, you get 5 years of clean water to people in need. So how cool is that? You buy beer and you get to go give people clean water. A lot of these charities think 1-for-1 for what they're doing. And it's just a very cool way when you start looking at it of, how can I incorporate that into my company where a portion of my revenue, a 1-for-1, whatever it looks like, can be given back to charities or organizations. And this isn't just something that we're making up or telling you to do because we want to do good in the world. This is actually backed by statistics. All these stats are from 2017. This is the best report I have to showcase what I want to show. But consumers consider the importance of a company's responsible business practices. And when we look at it being a good employer, obviously the first thing, operate in a way that protects and benefits society and the environment. So something like 10 Tree lands very high on there. Creating products and services or programs to ensure the well-being of me and my family. So again, creating good services, investing in causes, my community or around the globe. So investing in causes. So if our businesses are giving back, there's 87% of the people say they'd rather do business with you than anybody else because you're giving back and standing up for social justice as well, 78%. So they're saying they want more. Some stuff on there to read, but millennials are putting their faith in companies to ignite change, right? 71% of hopeful businesses will take the trend. What they want to see is they want to see businesses that are giving back. As millennials, that's becoming a massive trend. They're done with the capitalists. They're done with all this profit. They're done with these massive companies making massive amounts of money and not doing anything to support the world. Here's another example. People want to see companies that address economic development, right? They want to see some poverty and hunger. They want to see companies that are out there supporting causes that mean something to the world that can support them. And the final one is consumers are likely to switch brands to one that is associated with a good cause, given similar price and quality. 89% in 2017 and all the way from 2011. So they've been telling us for over a decade that they want companies and brands that are associated with causes that are of similar value. So when we put a comparison side by side, if they have to choose A and B and A gives back and B doesn't, they're going to start picking A 89% of the time. That's insane. And if that doesn't spark you to start thinking that things are going to start changing, I don't know what will, because that is the biggest stat I saw that instantly made me go, boom, I got to hop on this train because I want to be a part of it. Now, how can we relate that to real estate investing? So you're sitting there going, I get it. I have a few houses, I make some cash flow, I do some private lending. How do I, my business isn't generating money. I'm not selling a product or service. Here are some things that we can do inside of our real estate to start making that happen. So say you invest $100,000 and you make 10% on your money, and the developer goes and they donate nothing to charity. Cool, you make good money. But what if there is an opportunity where you invest $100,000 and you make 10%, apples to apples, and the developer donates a portion of their profit to a cause? For example, Steve and I are looking at working with Another Brick in Nepal, a local charity here in Victoria that goes and builds schools in Nepal. If our development, apples to apples to another developer, if their developer provided the same returns in the same timelines, but did nothing except keep the profit, and we built developments, provided the same returns, but we took a portion of our profit and went and built a school, which one would you feel better investing in? Consumers say 90% of people will choose the company that's giving back. And that's just apples to apples. I get it can change a variety. If one offers better returns or worse returns, we're just comparing apples to apples in these examples. But that's kind of thought-provoking, isn't it? If we start looking at real estate and development and other opportunities as a way to give back from the profits that we're making, what is that going to do to consumerism inside of there or investing? So let's just say, for an example, this is apples to apples. 90% of the people out there are saying we want to work with companies that are doing good. Where is the investor's capital going to start flowing as a developer? It's probably going to start flowing down to the companies that are donating a portion of the profit to causes or good things, or being socially responsible with what they're doing. It could be they're building the greenest product. They're building the most efficient housing that they can. That can be a portion of donating or building stuff. Maybe they go give one unit away for free. Things like that. There's a million ways to do it. But we're going to start seeing investors going that way. So what's going to happen with developers that aren't donating their capital or portions of it or doing good causes? They're slowly going to dwindle away. And we're seeing that with a lot of this old money in the towns. You know, I'll be stereotypical here and say it's like the old white guy's money that used to just in Victoria, that's what it is. We're starting to see that change hands quite a bit. And we're starting to see this trend come with it. Guys like Steve and I are coming in going, whoa, you guys are going to make $1 million net profit and just put that in your pocket and not do any good with it, not even donate $10,000 to a charity. Like, that doesn't seem fair. Where we come in, we say, hey, we're going to build that in from the bottom line that we give back, and we're going to make great money along the way, and our partners are going to love us because of it. Another example, I don't have a slide for this one, but is private lending. If you're doing private lending, say you're lending money out at 10%, right? You're doing a first mortgage at 10%, and the person pays you 10%. Well, what if you took that money and you said, hey, I'm not going to lend it to you for 10, but I'm going to lend it to you for 11, and I'm going to donate 1% of that money away. You're not giving away your bottom line. You're increasing the amount of money you make as a giving component as part of it. Now, again, can somebody else go get 10% money somewhere else? For sure. But maybe they want to pay 11% so they can feel good that they've now partnered with someone that's giving 1% away. So now their project in the lending values of it is giving 1% of the borrowing costs away. Simple, easy concept that anybody can implement literally tomorrow. Literally tomorrow, your next project to go to lend on, add 1% onto it and say that's the giving component of my business. And if you want to do business with me, that's how we do it. Both parties feel equal and great about it. The next thing I want to bring up, another example. Someone in here is renting out a 2-bedroom suite. They're renting it out for $1,800. Would you be okay? Would your life survive? Would there still be cash flow if you were to only collect $1,790? I think it's pretty easy to say that most people say yes, right? If you're losing $10 a month on your rental and that's going to impact you to the point where you can't do it, you're like, that maybe that shouldn't be a rental. Maybe that should be a warning sign for you to liquidate that property anyways. Because I can guarantee you, if I had to take $10 less on one of my rentals, I could. Well, let's use that in theory here as an example. So let's use it here as an example. So the tenant is renting your property for $1,800 a month, and your landlord, you, donate $0. Money comes in, very standard. This is how 99% of the transactions work. But what if we flipped it? What if the tenant gave you $1,800 and you as the landlord said, hey, I'm going to take $10 from every rental door I have and just donate it to charity every single month. So I'm going to take the 18 and then I'm going to donate $10 to a charity. That could be a tax write-off, by the way, and you donate that every single month. Well, what are we going to start seeing? What do tenants want? Tenants, like any consumer, want to buy or rent or consume stuff from people that are doing good. So if I have tenants in a 5-plex and I donate $10 a door, so that'll be $50 a month to a charity organization, my building now donates $600 a year to a charity. Doesn't seem like a lot of money, but what is that doing for my tenants? They're going, wow, that's incredible. Obviously, you'll get the tenants that say, well, just give me the rent for $17.90. That's not the point. The point is, as we as landlords are trying to make a better impact with the money that we make. So as we start to see more landlords start doing this give back component, we'll start seeing a shift inside of our tenants. We'll start seeing more tenants wanting to go to properties where they know that when they pay rent, a portion of it is going to do good in this world. And it's a simple concept, but the statistics earlier in this presentation showed that is what consumers want. And your tenants are consumers, whether you like it or not, they need housing, but they are paying you for a service. And when somebody's paying you for a service, they want that money to be doing good in the world. So a simple example of that, $10 a door on a monthly basis. You have a 5-plex, you donate $50 a month, consistent revenue, ends up being $600 a year. And the way about this is like, I don't want to be left behind, right? In fact, I want to be here before the action starts. This is a trend that is just starting. There's very few people out there right now that are talking like Steve and I of how we can actually use real estate to change the world by giving back. This is something we're passionate about. This is the definition of go big to give big. This is what inspired us to go bigger with our dreams and goals, because we know if we did that, then we'll be able to give a lot more. And you'll see that here in an example, the $10 a door example. So say you have $10 a door and you have 80 units. Let's say collectively on this call, there's 30 plus people. Let's just say everyone's got 2 and a bit units. Everybody on this call, as of tomorrow, you're donating $10 a door. We all have 2 doors. Collectively as a group, we just donated just under $10,000 a year to charity by making a simple conscious decision to focus where our money goes and how we're using it to benefit this world. Very simple concept to make $10,000. That might not seem like a lot. You're like, oh, that's cool, but what impact is that going to have? Let's say there's 60 groups out there that have 80 units, 60 real estate meetup groups. I think everyone on this call can go find 60 groups across the world that are doing real estate investing. So if you had 60 groups and you're doing 80 units per group, you're donating $576,000 a year. You're donating $500,000 a year by everybody just doing a small little contribution. And this is the crazy thing for real estate for me. I love real estate, huge impact. I love making small differences. Everyone says it's the small differences, right? Everyone doing their little part. This is everybody doing their little part. But this is just one investor we know that has a portfolio of 4,800 doors. One investor. I know one investor with 4,800 doors. Think of that. One investor could be donating $500,000 a year by doing $10 a door. Can I go up to him tomorrow and recommend this? Probably not, because he's going to have to do that. But could he start implementing that on all of his rent increases going forward? For sure. Could he implement that on every building he's going to go buy in the future? How many people do you actually know that are starting to accumulate hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of doors? In our mastermind alone, there's thousands of doors of people that own it that are looking at doing this $10 a door. massive impact when we start looking at what we can do if we start putting a cumulative of people that want to change this world, entrepreneurs that inspired to do bigger things and make bigger impact. And Cole says, I use Cole a lot in this because he's someone we've mentored under on how to facilitate this and operate this. But if people say money doesn't buy you happiness, try feeding a starving child and see if it doesn't make you feel good. Well, how do you feed a starving child? You do it with money. The more money you have, the more kids you can feed. The more money we made from our meetup, the more kids we could put through sport. So when Steve and I were running our meetup, looking at having $1,000 a month coming from our meetup, it takes $300 to put a kid through sport. Every month, we funded 3 kids to go through organized sport. And when you start thinking of your nieces, nephews, kids, and you start thinking of them not being able to participate, it makes massive, massive differences in this world when we start looking at what's actually possible and not looking at money as greed, but looking at money as a tool to go make a massive impact. So what motivates me? Obviously, go big to give big. Steve shared a little bit about that earlier, what our mission is, inspiring people to go bigger with their dreams and goals so they can give bigger with their profits. And another guy we've watched speak a lot, his name is Naveen Jain, and he says, a person who sees a problem is just a human being. A person who finds a solution is a visionary. And the person who goes out and does something about it is an entrepreneur. And that's what Steve and I are doing right now. We are being entrepreneurs. We're trying to outthink how we can go create bigger things. How do we go do bigger stuff? How do we create bigger companies so we can actually start making the impact that we want to? We don't want to be guys that talk about it, right? We don't want to be people that see a problem. Everyone sees a problem right now and goes, yep, that's the problem. There's people out there that can find some solutions that say, hey, they should do X, Y, and Z. I know a lot of people sit in front of their TV and complain about politics and how it's done and things that are wrong. They're not doing anything about it. The people that are going to be doing it, entrepreneurs. And one of the first slides I said, I think entrepreneurs are going to be the ones that come out and change this world. I'm going to show you why. This is what Steve and I are rough drafting as a model for us to start following. You have to have a moonshot goal, as Steve said in his post earlier, if you guys saw it, a BHAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal. And here's what ours is. We have a high amount of low-income families in Canada. I think everybody can agree with that. Low income is a huge problem because we have a lack of financial education, we have really high rent prices, and we don't teach anybody how to get out of it. The government says, you're low income, here's your subsidy. Well, that person's not motivated to go get more jobs, to go start investing, and they're barely getting by. Some of them are addicted to drugs. Some of them can barely get ahead. Some of them are starving because they're feeding their kids. Some of them are putting 3-4 kids in a bachelor suite or in a 1-bedroom. It makes you sick thinking about it. Anyone that doesn't feel that in their gut when I share that, it's like, oh, that sucks. So what do you do about it? We all see it. We know it's a problem. We all have solutions of how we come up with it for the government to solve the problem. But what are we going to do about it? This is what we're going to do about it. This might be a little bit hard for you guys to see. This is super rough. This is just what I look at every day to motivate me. What if I took all these doors at $10 a door per month, and we start talking to people that have 5,000 units? We start talking to 10,000. Now we're at 100,000 units at $10 a month, and we're doing $1 million a month in revenue from passive income from your properties. And we donate it to a charity. That charity is funded by real estate investments. So now we become a zero-sum charity. So all of a sudden, all the overhead, all the salaries, all the expenses are paid for by real estate, apartment buildings. It works. It makes sense. And then what if I went and talked to the mortgage broker, the home inspector, the real estate agent, the lawyer, and the insurance company, and explained to them, hey guys, I run a charity. What I would love is that any investment property or any property you feel comfortable with, you donate 10% of your profit to my charity to support low-income families. Now I've just went and sourced out continuous revenue from the properties. So now when you buy one apartment building, You get 5 sources of donated revenue and consistent monthly revenue to this charity. Then that charity says, cool, we want to go change low-income housing. Not we want to just donate, we want to change low-income families. So you have to apply to get this grant. We have a criteria. From there, our applicants that apply, that we approve, will get a financial advisor, a counselor, and they'll have to create a financial literacy course. We have to educate these people. We can't just let them keep living in poverty without teaching them how to get out of it. And then what we will do from our charity is we'll pay for the counseling, we'll pay for the financial education, and then we'll subsidize their rent. So say they pay $1,000 in rent, maybe we pay $500 of that. Well, now they have an extra $500 of exposable income. Well, they're working with a financial planner and a counselor, so that money can start being invested and saved, and they can start saving up to get a savings account and get better stuff and start getting educated. Maybe they start investing a little bit and they start learning how money works. And then from there, that person goes through our program for say 3-4 years, and they save up a few $1,000s, they're educated, and then we can bring them back into society as a functioning human, not as a low-income subsidy housing. They can actually come in and live because they're educated and they have money and they have savings. And so a simple concept of, wow, what if we just donated $10 a door every single month, turned into something that Steve and I think we can literally change low-income housing without the government. There's no more low-income subsidies when you come through us. You have to be educated, and you have to be willing, and you have to want it, because there are a ton of people out there that want to be educated, that want to get out of poverty, that want to get out of low-income housing, but have zero support. So that is part of the concept of why we're doing this and how it all ties together. That maybe now, not just $10 a month per door, but maybe there's other people out there that are doing private lending, other developers, other opportunities where people want to donate to this charity, and we could be doing some substantial impact in this world if we do this. This is Steve and I's send-off dream. This is if we can leave a legacy at the beginning, ask, what is your legacy? This is going to be our legacy. Real estate's fun. Making a massive impact in this world and be an absolute game changer, to me, is 10 times more fun, and while I'll work 10 times harder to make it happen. So that is it for you guys. Did want to let you guys know that we are going to be launching a podcast called the Go Big to Give Big podcast in the spring. You can follow us on social media. We'll let you know more about that. But we'll just be interviewing people that are going bigger with their dreams and goals, so they can be giving bigger with their profits. And I will give a little plug in Victoria here. Obviously, we work with Kids Sport Victoria. They have a charity coming up in the summer, and it's called Burpees for Charities. If you feel willing and able to do some burpees and raise some money, last year they did $125,000 by doing burpees. Just a group of people got together, raised the money, and did the burpees. So if you're interested in that, we can send out a link to that as well. But that's another example of go big to give big. 2 moms said, hey, let's do some burpees and raise some money for charity. And it turned out to be a $125,000 donation to this event. Thank you. Boom.
Brilliant.
Oh, man, rant there.
I get fired up every time I see any one of those slides, or any time it is in my mind or in conversation. Before we jump into this, like any kind of group chat, to see if there's any questions or anything along those lines, I just have like 4 slides to finish this off, and then we can kind of basically call it a night and see what happens. So we just want to say thank you. It's the first month of the year. We're stoked to be back and to share, the Go Big to Give Big world and vision with you, and hopefully, hopefully some of it landed in your hearts and you got your brains kind of turning and inspired to incorporate some of this into your investing, into your businesses, into your life. If you love our meetup, if you love our mission, obviously we would love any kind of review from you. If you hated it, we'd love to know that too, so we could change it to make it even better. Join the community. This is how you can get a hold of us. We're super open to help and support. And that's basically the show that we wanted to give you. But we just wanted to open it up and see if there was somebody that wanted to to share an experience or to share a light bulb moment or anything like that, or if you had any cues and questions for us around Go Big to Give Big. And if not, then I think we can transition the conversation to make it a wrap. But if there is somebody out there that is passionate about giving back or has a charity they love or a story, of somebody supporting them, we'd love to hear it.
Man, I love just pouring my heart and soul for 30 minutes, 40 minutes to a group of awesome people and not even getting one person saying, cool, awesome, sick, loved it.
Todd likes it.
Robert, I see you got your hand up there. If you want to unmute yourself, you can feel free to share.
Yeah, I think we should be getting involved with Habitat for Humanity. I mean, if it's real estate, we're all into real estate. That's a real estate charity. Requires the people that get the home to invest 500 hours sweat equity. So
yeah,
I was looking at that on a development property. Somebody else grabbed the land before I could get it, but it was like 30 units. And I was prepared, I think it was in four or five fourplexes. And I was prepared to work with Habitat for Humanity and have them get one of the fourplexes or get involved with it. That seems to be a logical approach to me.
That's an incredible thing. And we have a good friend in Ontario that does a lot of Habitat for Humanity work, and consult with him quite often about what he's doing and how it looks. So awesome for bringing that up, and good for you for trying to make that happen. I'm sure you'll have something come along your plate that you can make that work with.
That's the plan in the coming years.
Awesome. Thanks so much for sharing. I really appreciate that. And if there's anything we can do to support you with it, 100% all in. I see Oz shared there. He said, can building affordable housing be a part of this strategy? 100%. I've obviously only worked on that portion of it. It's a pipe dream, so I'm slowly building it out as we go. Ideally, the goal would be that we have our own housing complexes that we can do the subsidized rent into. So all the money that comes in, we collect it. We actually own buildings that have subsidized housing in it. So they're already owned by the charity, and that's where we place the tenants. So we do need a place to put the tenants. It's just another portion of the map, and it wasn't fitting into the current stuff I have there, but is 100% a part of the model for us going forward of how to incorporate affordable housing into our actual charities and organizations. So thank you for asking that great question.
Another great one locally too is just Greater Victoria Housing Society. They do a lot of work all over Victoria, and there's actually a really great development proposal just by the cop shop in Saanich that will do some massive support. They're taking, there's like 4 or 5 buildings there currently that I think it was like houses 180 people or something, and they want to turn it into like 480 people. Just complete basically demo and then build up and scale up and maximize the use of the land. And a large portion of that goes to Greater Victoria Housing Society, Habitat for Humanity, and a couple other organizations that are in that same type of support.
Beauty. And just for the people on Facebook, Melissa, thank you so much. Appreciate your nice comment. And Mario, yes, love that you love what we're doing. Cool. Well, if that's it, I'm gonna go put my flip-flops and board shorts on and go get ready to sleep in them and get on a plane to go to Mexico first thing in the morning and keep brainstorming my ideas about how to give back and build more real estate. I'll let you close us out, Steve.
That's a pretty good send-off, just to hop on a plane and go into the sunshine. I think we're all jealous of you, do, but wish you safe travels. And for everybody else in the call, have a wonderful month. If you need anything from us, you know where to find us, and we'll see you in February. Take care for now, and thank you so much for joining us.
See everybody.